Alright, hello everyone, welcome to the stream. Apologies for all the delays. It's finally ready, so let's go ahead and go ahead. Let's go ahead and get into this shit. There we go, and play. Hello everyone, my name is Tyson, and welcome back to yet another installment to the hit series Kojima's Deception. This is a brand new branch of the series called The Briefings, which is important for the main series, but isn't big enough to be a full-length episode. In today's episode, we'll be discussing the importance of Kojima's use of the themes of 1984 in his works, as well as how they apply to the Konami Nani, the Ruse, and give a more detailed explanation of events to show you how it is connected to all of this, hopefully proving once and for all that Kojima is not entirely separated from Konami. With all that said, let's go ahead and roll the intro. Actually, I just realized, because of the fact that I mastered it for, I mastered it how it should be, I should have it full volume, so I apologize for that being a little bit quiet. Hang on. I know the answer to my question might be spoilerish, but I'm asking anyway. Are there any voice acting? There's one bit, but it's one that's already existed, and you've already heard it. So, yeah. Nothing really. But, I think it's a good episode anyway. It's a small episode. It's only about 25 minutes. But, that's what this is. This is just a briefing. So, let's go ahead and... By the way, this intro is a little bit different than what you saw in the trailer.
I want everyone corrupt.
Well, I ought to suit you then. I'm corrupt to the core.
Do you like doing this? I don't mean just me.
I adore it.
To help me fall softly.
I didn't know it myself. I thought crime was so insidious. It just creeps up on you. My daughter's found it out.
You're too late.
Very proud of her.
You still don't know who I am, do you?
Very grateful I've been discovered before it's too late.
Well, shit. I had a special surprise present everything.
Days are getting colder. None of this to speak. Stars must lead us on your way back home. Can you hear their curses?
Press the first I press the second. Go on, page
When
slide
you
up.
wait for me
Starting moves will shoot
to
up.
overcome
If you ever see a man,
everything kills. If I'm the inside,
they relieve onto your
like the
face.
loneliest
Fall straight.
Sometimes
they attack your eyes.
you hear my voice, my prayer.
Sometimes they burrow through the cheeks.
When you wait for me to overcome everything
I've been doing to her. Tell her a place I've been doing to Julia, not to me. Do it to Julia! Do it to Julia! Not me!
Thank you, Arca. To be fair, some of these edits were suggestions by Cypher and some of the crew on my personal Discord, which, by the way, if you would like to enter, feel free to join my personal subreddit, which is not just a personal subreddit, but also an alternative to NBGO called the Sons of Bridges, which is going to have a bit at the end. And we can, you can go ahead and find me there and contact me, and I can send you a link to be able to join. But, I'm not a young fanboy. Who the fuck said I was a young fanboy? I listen to him for information on occasion, but I don't really like his stuff that much. I've never really liked his stuff that much. But, Tingle, what's up, buddy? What are you meowing about? Okay, I'll let you out. Yeah, dude. You've been a completely loyal fan to the channel, so I don't doubt that you will be a good mod. As long as, you know, nothing said is taken personally, you know? So, yeah. I think that it's gonna be a much more chill place than NBGO. I think that there's gonna be a lot less hostility and a lot more communication in general. So, let's go ahead and continue the video. Chapter 1. The Konami Nani. The First Explosion. This is the report that started it all, as far as I know. The original article is on a Japanese website that requires a premium membership, so I'll be relying on Kotaku's report for this segment. That's good to hear. Kojima Productions, the studio behind the upcoming Metal Gear Solid V, and long famous as a brand of its own, is now simply known as Number 8 Production Department. The computers in this section, Nikkei says, as we reported earlier this year, are allegedly not connected to the internet and are only able to send internal messages. Nikkei reports that employees leaving the company offices during their lunch breaks are having their absences monitored with time cards. Those who stay out too long are having their names announced throughout the company. That there are cameras in the office corridors that aren't there for security, but rather to monitor the movements of Konami's own employees. That most Konami employees do not have their own permanent company email addresses. Staff who must deal with people outside the company, such as sales and PR, do. However, everyone else routinely has their address randomized and changed every few months. Note, Konami employee emails are typically a few letters followed by a string of numbers, but this random email changing has been going on for a few years at Konami. A while back, one Konami employee told me this was done to prevent headhunting. Over the years, I have seen developers with company email addresses, but this might have changed recently. That Konami game developers who aren't seen as useful are reassigned to jobs as security guards, cleaning staff at a company's fitness clubs, or roles at a patchy slot machine factory. This includes not just junior staff, but producers who have worked on well-known game titles. In 2013, Asahi News, one of Japan's largest newspapers, ran an interview with the former Konami staffer who allegedly went from game development to working in... Wait, hang on. Shaming people? What? I didn't mean to shame anyone. What? Oh, are you talking about the Konami Naughty? I was like, wait, what? Did I do something? I'm trying to be good. God damn it. I'm sorry. I was reading the chat and not paying attention to the video, so I didn't know where we were at in the video. I apologize. Let's go ahead and continue the video. Konami's patchy slot factory, causing him to experience severe depression. That one former employee, upon announcing on Facebook that they were leaving Konami and had got a new job elsewhere, had their post. Yeah, no, it's totally fucked up. If yeah, that's what I was like. What? Did I do something? What? But yeah, no. If this is true, it's totally fucked up. But I really hope that at least the majority of this is false. That's, you know, I don't know. We will see how this story progresses. Though I assume that a lot of the Konami Naughty was blown out of proportion to make it seem a lot worse than it really was. It's monitored. Nikkei says remaining Konami staff who liked the post were also reshuffled within the company. Kotaku is following up with Konami for comment. So these are the allegations against Konami up till this point. This, however, doesn't line up with other articles surrounding Kojima and the split between him and Konami. Fuck, what's worse is Kotaku's actually the ones who are contradicting it. It's the modern day doublethink. For the past few years, it has felt like Hideo Kojima and Konami have been at loggerheads. Even last month, the saga seemed to be endless. In a new interview, however, Kojima has discussed what was good about his Konami days, namely letting him make the games he wanted to. What I'm grateful to Konami for is that when I proposed something I wanted to make, they let me make it, Kojima tells website Toyo Kazai. Conversely, I wasn't bound by them saying you need to do it like this. In Japanese, Kojima says kansha shite iru, which refers to being appreciative, being grateful, or being thankful. Kojima joined Konami at the dawn of the gaming industry, and he recalls how there were only 5 people on his dev team when he started. It was hard work. I remember how I only slept 3 hours every day, Kojima says. No doubt he was able to have more opportunities as a new recruit than a fresh hire today, working on a massive title. Kojima, however, appears to see how fortunate he's been to have that opportunity. According to Kojima, when he would ask to be allowed to make a game, submitting a proposal describing the aim, giving the development period, and saying the approximate number of staff needed, he'd get the green light. It was like that from when I joined to the end, said Kojima. Because of that, I am the person I am today. Also, if you guys can't tell, I'm doing kind of a Yi Yang impression, which is probably really bad and I should stop. But it's too fun, because, oh my god, he's the most monotone motherfucker. Anyway, so what's the truth then? Is it that Kojima had full control, or was it that there was supposedly a massive dispute between Kojima and the new CEO? Keep in mind, Kojima was the vice president of Konami before he left, so it's not like he had no power. He wasn't forced to do jack diddly shit contractually in the form of where his office should be. That high up, he decided where his office was, how big it was, etc, etc. There's no way he'd be saying that he was thankful if they did any of this, considering how anti-1984 he really is. Chapter 2. Social Media. The Second Explosion. Now let's look at the discussion surrounding Konami after this event took place. If you look at YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you'll see an explosion of people who are completely stunned at what Konami supposedly did. They only have Kotaku and another smaller site, TechnoBuffalo, to source this info, as I'm sure the vast majority of people didn't pay for the access to the original article. Yet at any other time in history, you'll see people shit on Kotaku for their lack of journalistic integrity, going out of their way to lie for companies or even create controversies where there wasn't one. What's to say they didn't blow what they read way out of proportion? What's to say their source was even valid? There were no names named aside from Kojima, and you know damn well there's a reason for that. He's the face of Metal Gear, Konami's most prestigious series to date. If the face is getting punched, clearly something's wrong. Yet when that face is asked what's wrong, he said nothing. Something's not right here. Furthermore, if you'll notice, the discussion around Konami completely shifted around that time. Granted, they weren't doing anything to stop it, but that's kind of the point. I'm going to play a short clip from part 3 of this series to remind you of what is happening here. This theory of traumas being manifested in the simulation doesn't just stop there, it keeps going. Leading into Ground Zeroes, I'd like to discuss Project Ogre. This paragraph was written directly by Cypher with some modifications by me for reading aloud, and does a great job of explaining what Project Ogre is seeming to be at this point. There's a Japanese folktale that's about a red and a blue ogre. When you think about it, Konami is the red ogre, a lonely, misunderstood beast who'd only had his brash instinct as a means of communication, in the end only wanting people to like him. However, due to the red ogre's nature, people feared him and despised him. Kojima, on the other hand, is the blue ogre, the friend of red ogre, or Konami. The ogre of thoughtfulness and serenity, cunning and resolution. The two ogres' opposites allowed them to become great friends, and Kojima was made vice president of their digital arm. Then one day, the blue ogre, Kojima, asked for his friend, the red ogre, to run him out of town. It was all the blue ogre's plan, and in the end, whilst the two stayed friends, the blue ogre left in isolation. In other words, Kojima formed his new studio, leaving Konami, the red ogre alone again. The red ogre, curious of the blue ogre's absence, scoured the world day and night for his friend. Konami is creating all sorts of heat for themselves to make Kojima look saint-like, which is only serving to further advertise the rise of the reborn Koji Pro in Death Stranding, this upstart's massively impressive project. I mean shit, look at Konami's actions and tell me they don't look like the workings of a man attempting to burn down his own ship. Metal Gear patchy slots, which was preceded by the Silent Hill patchy slots with the sexy nurses on them, as well as the Castlevania patchy slots. Discussions of going purely mobile, which has never come to fruition and never will. Actually, I want to go back really quick. Pause it on that, and to get the company more involved. I myself am still a target audience, and to get the company to burn down his own ship. Metal Gear patchy slots, which was preceded by the Silent Hill patchy. Here. It wasn't so much the sexy nurses that are bothersome. Oh, I fucked it up. I'll have to fix it for the final render. Okay? But the fact that they specifically chose the most beloved Silent Hill game to turn into a patchy slot. The nurses from Silent Hill 2, the nurses are from Silent Hill 2, so that makes sense. But Silent Hill just should never have been made into a patchy slot, and Konami knows that. Slots with the sexy nurses on them. Oh, definitely. People fucking eat drama up. It's just how people are, unfortunately. As well as the Castlevania patchy slots. To quote Tool, "We all feed on tragedy. It's like blood to a vampire. It's no fun till someone dies." Discussions of going purely mobile, which has never come to fruition and never will. The CEO infamously saying that he wanted to get the company more involved with gambling. And ultimately, not really doing anything to save face. Kojima's kept everyone waiting so long at this point, however, that people are starting to falter somewhat. I myself am still on board, while skeptical to keep my own sanity. But not everyone is as patient as I am. Clearly, Kojima is going for his true target audience, the 100,000 or so who really dig into the details and the meat of the series to search for hidden meaning. Chapter 3. Metal Gear Survive. The Third Explosion. This game is astounding with how much it has ceased to amaze me. In fact, if you aren't aware already, I will be making a Metal Gear Survive Ultimate analysis pretty soon, as no one else has. I predicted exactly what would happen, and you know what? It didn't deserve even half of the hate that it received. Granted, that's subjective, but hear me out. First, let's take a moment to consider the nature of the current news cycle compared to how it was even just 5 years ago. YouTube was completely different as the adpocalypse hadn't happened yet. Facebook wasn't only stolen content. Twitter was unprofitable. News was still on a daily cycle, but it wasn't nearly as rabid as it is today, where as soon as a story is out, all the other stories are unimportant. It's like people have no attention span for real news anymore. Anyway, enough rambling about the nature of news, let's move on to the game itself and what people criticized it for. Unlike other Metal Gear games, Metal Gear Survive focuses on survival, as the title indicates. As with the trend of other survival games, this means a lot of grinding for resources to craft supplies. This can be seen as a benefit or a detriment depending on if you like that kind of gameplay. Aside from this, the game was massively criticized as well for its reuse of assets, its poor story, and the microtransactions for save slots. I have a counter for all of these if you haven't guessed. First, the point about the focus of the game. Yes, the game is focused on survival. In my mind, based on the time in the beta, the survival gameplay was very polished and a lot of fun. However, it was only a snippet of the game, and I will reserve my opinion on the main game's feel until I pick it up here soon. With that said, I can say for myself after watching the story on YouTube that I don't think it's quite as bad as people make it out to be. Some of the voice acting can be a bit phoned in, but I feel the biggest issue is that it was all dialogue boxes and voice acting, instead of voice acting over dozens of cutscenes, as it has been in the past. If Survive went for that instead and put the effort in, it could have been a lot better in that regard. To top that off, there's even tapes just like there were in MGSV. My biggest point to counter, however, has to be the microtransactions for save slots. First off, motherfucker, MGSV only had one save slot. Furthermore, as Rue noted to me while helping review the script, Survive is as much of a multiplayer game as it is a single-player game, and Metal Gear has a tendency to make you pay for multiplayer character slots as it is. MGO2 is a perfect example of that. If you wanted another MGO2 character slot, you had to fork out money for it. I think MGO3 has it where you can pay like MGO2, or you can unlock a new slot after a certain level. Second, the initial claim that this meant you had to pay money to get both endings if you missed the false ending was completely inaccurate. See Yi Yong's video apologizing for the mistake here in the card. Third, the inclusion of this is not nearly as predatory as the microtransactions for MGSV in the form of the mother base tokens. If I want to have more than the 2 FOBs, I need to shell out at least $10, and that's after a few years of grinding out mother base tokens. Granted, I fucked up and spent some on speeding up development times, but hindsight's 2020, I didn't realize how important they were, so all I can really do is warn new players. That's my point though. MGSV got accolade after accolade, yet Survive is crucified for doing much less in terms of offending the audience. It's rather shameful in my book. Chapter 4. Death Stranding, The Last Explosion. As far as I can tell through my theories, Kojima is attempting to end Metal Gear and create an origin story for Silent Hill with the creation of Death Stranding. This is entirely theoretical, but it's what makes the most sense not only to myself, but to the majority of the crew that I have involved with this creation process. Think about it. The end of humanity, where all civilization is in the form of what is essentially the Matrix, but more focused on the horrific aspects. One thing I forgot to note verbally in my series that's already been noted either by Python and Selkin or the Tomb Portable, but at the end of the third trailer, Norman Reedus says, "Ah, yeah." If you revert this audio, you'll get what sounds like, "Hey, This might seem random to an American, but it's a reference to an era in Japan known as the Heian period, or the Peace period. It was actually called this according to Wikipedia because it was when Buddhism, Taoism, and other Chinese influences were at their height in Japan. However, despite this era of Japanese history was not all peaceful. Uprisings, rebellions, suspended exports, and the takeover of the samurai class which led to the feudal period of Japan. However, it was admired for being considered a high point in culture later on. My take on this being what Sam says at the end of the trailer is that it's a 1984 inspired Clue, where because it's inverted,
Peace Day never came. Every morning I wake up expecting it to come, but it is always 3 days away. That cannot be it. I have not woken up at all. It is just a dream. It is all a dream. I am in it, and you are in it too. I am the dreamer, but you are having my dream. Do you get it now? You do, don't you? Peace Day never came.
To top this controversy off, 1984 intertwined with not only MGS but Death Stranding, let's take a look at Silent Hill. When Silent Hill was released, the creative director was surprised that people thought it was scary, as he didn't think it was that much of a horror game. If you take this and compare it to Kojima saying that Death Stranding is not a horror game, in stark contrast to saying that Silent Hills will make people shit their pants.
The one thing I can tell about Silent Hills, this is something that I've been talking with Guillermo del Toro as well, but originally we were thinking of making a game that would make you pee your pants, but at this point we've changed our minds and we are aiming for a game that will make you shit your pants. Correct. As you say, actually, the S in 7780s is the S for Silent Hills. So the thing is, when you say Silent Hill, when you translate directly to Japanese, it's Silent is Shizuka and Hill is Oka. Now, there's a prefecture in Japan called Shizuoka, so gamers, it's kind of gamer slang in Japan to call Silent Hill Shizuoka. So if you Google 7780, somewhere in the results you'll get the 7780 square meters is actually the area for that prefecture, Shizuoka.
So the reason that I wanted to include that was to reinforce the point that fucking Cypher was going on about, which was that Silent Hill is no longer just a single town anymore, but it is a calling in several locations. And so, yeah, it's really excited to see the Icelandic fucking... It's not even just going to be Icelandic, because it's going to be the United Cities of America, which is going to be this weird fucking mashup of just some of the weirdest locations. I'm so excited for it. Oh my god. Okay. Something is clearly going on here. Kojima is not playing this straight at all, and is performing the greatest example of doublethink imaginable. I honestly cannot fully comprehend this by myself, which is why I am so grateful to have my friends and compatriots in my personal Discord. If you'd like to join my Discord, you'll have to follow me on Twitter and stake your claim, or PM me on Facebook. You can find me as RetroHellspawn on both. Same thing with Reddit.
All I want is to be remembered by other people, by history. The Patriots are trying to protect their power, their own interests, by controlling the digital flow of information. I want my memory, my existence to remain. Unlike an intron of history, I will be remembered as an exon. That will be my legacy, my mark in history. But the Patriots would deny us even that. I will triumph over the Patriots and liberate us all. And we will become the Sons of Ridges!
How do I feel about being a member of the Information Society? That's a difficult question because I didn't know we were in the Information Society.
Okay. Sorry, I was modifying the volume so that I could talk and read comments with you guys. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm laughing because of fucking Pneumatic Autist's response. I will be an Exxon! Which... God damn it. With that said, thank you guys so much for watching. Hang on. I've got to turn it back up now. I cannot thank you enough for supporting the series and the channel. It's been so overwhelming and so delightful to have all of the positive feedback, as well as criticism. It all helps me grow and continue to make more content for you all. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you'd like to support the channel aside from watching, subscribing, and liking the videos, please consider donating on a stream or becoming a member of my YouTube channel or Patreon. All of these... It was just the all caps that made me laugh, because that's how it feels to say it. Help support the channel and support me in continuing the series. Anyways guys, until next time, this is RetroHellspawn, signing off. I will probably have to add that in, yeah. I forgot to actually cover that. Here, let's go ahead and switch over to the post stream, since we're there. We're at the end of the stream. Fuck. Sorry for the delays, you guys, and yeah, expect the full cut to come out sometime tomorrow. Yeah, because I'm gonna get off work in the afternoon, so that should give me some time to finalize some edits. So I'll add in the bit about Lena Katina's birthday, her birth year being in 1984, and the connections to Conan O'Brien, with O'Brien from 1984. So yeah. Don't forget to add a T to butt. To butt where? I mean, the DS delay has been undefined as far as I've heard. Yi Yang thinks that it's going to be just a few months, which actually sounds about accurate. But, I don't know. Who knows? I'm thinking it'll probably be an August release, just because that's the month of his birthday. And it would be awesome because it's also the month of my birthday. Oh my god. Oh, right. Right, I remember now. Nice. Well, shit. Do you guys have any questions or other input to help make this video as good as it can be? I'll make the commentary public, of course, but yeah, for the final video I want to add some edits. I think it was digital organic. Fuck, what was I'm trying to remember. Someone had spelled it out and made perfect sense to me. Fuck. Hang on, let me look it up. Do. Digital organic online. Damaged online organic matter substance. I think that's what it was. Or decaying online organic. I don't think mimic would work. I think matter is the M. Or syndrome. I think the S might be syndrome. Considering it's you have dooms like me, that sounds like some sort of illness. I mean, maybe? I don't know. I think that they're chirals. Wait, hang on. Decaying because matter... Yeah. But... I don't know. I think decaying on organic online matter syndrome sounds the most reasonable to me, but that's just my opinion. Your opinion is obviously just as equally welcome. I mean, we're all allowed to have differing opinions and still contribute to this, you know. It's kind of the nature of this. It's the nature of art, and that's exactly what we're doing here. We're interpreting art, you know. So it's good to have other people's input, because that can add to the end result of everything. Master? What is it? Do you want to go back out in the living room again? For like 5 minutes before you whine and want back in? My cat's insane. So yeah, there's a few other things that I need to add to the script to finalize the video. But yeah, it'll probably be about a half hour, maybe 35 minutes after everything's added. That would be really interesting. Especially if they were all immaculate remakes. Oh my god. I would cream so hard. Right. Yeah, with the new context, it would be totally fitting to have some VR elements tied into all of them. Oh, it would be beautiful. Oh god, I want it. I want it! Oh, I want it so bad. Oh, that would be so amazing. It would fuck with your head so bad knowing Kojima and his fucking brilliant mind. It would make everything make so much more sense. Oh my god. Seriously though, that would be amazing. If that was actually what... If that's actually what they're going for. Oh my god. I think police knots could be tied in though. You know? I mean, police knots exists in the Metal Gear universe, technically. And that'll probably be tied more into the hub world. But yeah, that would be amazing to get a remake of Police Knots and Snatcher in full 3D. Oh my god, that would be amazing. Oh, dude, that'd be like $300 worth of game if that was the case, though. It'd be fucking ridiculous for them to try and tackle that. They would have literally need the biggest advertising push to fucking make that game work. Like, basically go for what Kingdom Hearts is going for, but actually make sense and good. Not that Kingdom Hearts is bad, but it's for kids and has a lot more inconsistencies that aren't as easily explained. Mr. Tingle, come here. I hear you whining at my door. Yes. Oh, come on, dude. Ah, you fucking turd. I tried getting him to come in my room, and he sniffed my hand, and then he went back outside. He's such a turd butt. Yeah, it would. It would be really great to see them remade. All in the Fox engine, or even the Decima engine. We will have to see, though. Alright, well, it is about 11 o'clock my time. I'm going to go ahead and call it because I have to get to bed pretty soon. So, wait, no joke. Jay is highlighting in red. Yeah. Fuck, I didn't even talk about that either. Fuck. We're going to have to make notes on all the things that I missed so that I can go ahead and cover them. Alright, well, that's it for this video, you guys. Thank you for joining me on this stream. I will, I'll upload the final video either tomorrow or the day after. So, alright, have a good night, everybody. Let me do my regular thing, shit. This is RetroHellspawn, signing out.